Hello, treasured viewers, and thank you for slipping back into our corner of royal intrigue. Tonight's story begins on a cricket green summer lawn, wins its way through a century of family promises, and ends with an unexpected roar from the Wembley terraces. In short, we are witnessing a torch passing that will decide whether your grandchildren still have a safe patch of grass in which to chase butterflies, or whether those beloved greens vanish beneath yet another steel skyline. Yes, we are talking about Prince William, his late grandfather's lifelong crusade, and the shock decision to hand that sacred mission to an unlikely new champion, England football legend Jill Scott. The headlines may look neat and polite: Prince hands over presidency of Fields and Trust, but, as ever, the truth beneath the tiara is richer, thornier, and far more urgent. A family promise written in grass stains. Cast your mind back to 1925. Crowds still cheered horse-drawn carts. Children climbed trees instead of algorithms. That was the year King George V gave his blessing to a fledgling charity called the National Playing Fields Association. Its single goal: protect Britain's parks and pitches, for every boy and girl, forever. Fast forward to the austere 1950s, and a newly married Prince Philip took up the cause with the unstoppable energy that would define his life. For 64 years, longer than most of us have been alive, he inspected muddy goalposts, opened miniature cricket grounds, and bulldozed red tape so villages could keep their commons green. Enter 2010, the iPhone had replaced marbles, and suburban lawns were shrinking beneath apartment blocks. The Duke of Edinburgh, sensing time's marching boots, passed the presidential baton to his grandson William. It was a poignant moment, battlefield veteran to helicopter pilot, pre-war stoic to post-Diana empath. William, still newlywed and freshly minted as Duke of Cambridge, accepted with boyish solemnity. "Grandpa expects results," he joked, then promptly championed pocket parks in forgotten postcodes and pushed government departments to view playgrounds as essential infrastructure, not ornamental luxuries. Yet even princes confront arithmetic. King Charles's illness, Catherine's fragile recovery, climate summits, early years campaigns, each demands William's presence. 12 whirlwind years on, the Prince of Wales looked at his bulging diary, then at a centenary charity crying out for daily, public fervor, and made a decision that stings even as it makes sense. The Swiss handshake that rewrites the playbook. 9 July, Zurich. William is courtside, sleeves rolled, cheering the Lionesses as they pulverize the Dutch 4-0 in a Euro 2025 qualifier. Cameras drink in his grin, microphones catch that famous "come on girls." What they almost miss is the quick huddle just off-pitch. There, in the shade of a UEFA backdrop, stands Jill Scott, towering midfielder, Euro-winning national treasure, part-time barista, full-time burst of northern sunshine. William clasps her hand, leans close, and the flashguns pop. In that instant the presidency changes hands, witnessed by half a dozen FA officials and a beaming Swiss groundskeeper. Within minutes the prince's Instagram feeds the world a carefully cropped photo, William in open-necked shirt, Jill in sharp blazer, both glowing with that post-match adrenaline. The caption is minimal: "Thrilled to see at Jill Scott JS 8 take the reins at Fields in Trust, as they head into their next 100 years." Polite, simple, decisive. And behind those 9 words lies the quiet reality that Britain's future queen has lost her most relentless champion at home. The king's treatments demand flexibility abroad, and William must keep only the battles he can personally win. Why the stakes are higher than a picket fence? If you grew up jumping streams and climbing oak branches, you know a truth modern planners forget: green space is not a garnish. It is childhood's first classroom, grandparents' slow-walk gym, the democratic square where teenagers trade secrets instead of scrolling indoors. Yet 1 child in 3 in Britain cannot reach a playground on foot. 1 in 3. Imagine trying to explain that to your 8-year-old self, who spent entire summers inventing castles out of hedges. Fields in Trust now safeguards more than 2,800 parks and pitches, an impressive number, until you realize there are 27,000 public green spaces nationwide. Pressure from housing targets, data center sprawl, and post-pandemic land grabs mean councils are tempted to flog underused fields to developers with suitcases of cash. Once the diggers arrive, that meadow is gone forever, replaced by asphalt and a commemorative plaque. The charity needs a figurehead who can bellow as loudly as bulldozers rumble. Jill Scott is that clarion call. Her 2022 Euros winners medal, How I'm a Celebrity crown, her unfiltered Instagram banter, she reaches families the monarchy struggles to tap. She grew up chasing a football across the public parks of Sunderland. She knows, in her bones, what a grass pitch can do for a restless child. Already she is planning a touring green pop-up that lands on grey estate car parks, rolling out temporary lawns and 5A-side goals so children taste grass underfoot while campaigns fight for permanent acreage. Inside Kensington's bittersweet calculation. Courtiers insist William wrestled with the decision for months. His grandfather's example weighed heavily. 64 years is an Everest of service. Yet the prince has learned brutal lessons about bandwidth. When Catherine entered the London clinic last winter, William cleared his diary. Only then did he grasp how intimately his schedule overlaps with hers, how every patronage attaches a string that tugs at bedtime. With 3 school-run children, an ailing monarch to deputize, and climate summits requiring personal attendance, something had to give. Fields in Trust was the hardest cord to cut, precisely because it is tangible. You can read bedtime essays remotely, but you cannot unveil a city centre playground over Zoom. The prince insisted the centenary year deserved a leader who can devote dozens of site visits, keynote speeches, fundraising dinners. Jill Scott, semi-retired from pro sport, thrums with that spare energy. What changes now, and what must never change? Expect Jill's first 12 months to look less royal garden party, more street football festival. She wants a traveling scoreboard that tallies acreage saved in real time, giant illuminated numbers installed on city halls so councillors feel public pressure rising by the day. She has already phoned Marcus Rashford about a joint pledge for urban kickabout zones. She is lobbying estate planning courses to add green space literacy to their curriculum. And yes, she still plans to serve the odd flat white in her Manchester coffee shop, because nothing disarms a councillor like a latte poured by an England hero asking, "Fancy saving a playground today?" William, meanwhile, retains a private vice presidency. He will pop up at milestone unveilings and continue the Duke of Edinburgh Cup golf fundraiser that channels proceeds into new park deeds. But day-to-day power is Jill's. Her MBE ribbon may be newer than Phillips field boots, yet she radiates the same restless drive. The bigger picture. Royals evolve. A patronage is not a possession, it is a seed the crown plants, nurtures, then hands to someone else when the sapling can survive sunlight alone. William has prudent dutifully, passing military commands to seasoned officers, football oversight to the FA board, and now park protection to a footballer who can outrun bureaucracy. Critics will sneer, abdication of duty. Realists will reply, duty shared is duty multiplied. The call to arms for viewers who remember green childhoods. If you are part of our treasured over 50 community, you carry snapshots of freedom, bare feet on dewy grass, dad's whistle signaling tea time, the smell of cut clover thicker than any perfume. Ask yourself, does your youngest grandchild have that same memory bank? Or does their world end at the apartment balcony and the tablet screen? Jill Scott's crusade is your chance to gift them a living playground, not just pixels of one. Write to your local councillor. Insist that every new housing block includes a protected plot. Donate a young tree in memory of a loved one. Fields in Trust will bind that sapling into its national covenant. And share Jill's social media challenges, because likes, in this campaign, translate into leverage. Green space is heritage. The monarchy understands heritage better than anyone. William's strategic withdrawal is not an ending but a relay handoff, grandfather to grandson, prince to champion, and now champion to you. Because the charity's new slogan is not a metaphor, access to nature is a right, not a privilege. If we fail to defend that right in 2025, by 2125 it will be a nostalgic bedtime story. So lace up, dear friends. The whistle has blown, the pitch is ours to protect, and Jill Scott is charging down the wing, ready to cross the ball into the future. Let's not watch from the stands, let's sprint alongside her.